Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today for this introduction to Logi Analytics. My name is Ardashir Gambarzadeh. I am Senior Product Marketing Manager at Logi. Joining me today here is also my colleague, Haley Wilson, Solutions Engineer. Haley will take you through a demo of Logi Composer, a product we recently launched at Logi, towards the end of the presentation. I'll start by telling you a little bit about Logi Analytics. Logi serves a very specific segment of the analytics space. We are not traditional BI. Our focus is on the embedded use case only. This means that we work with software teams and independent software vendors and OEMs and help them deliver analytics within the context of their applications. So when you think about embedded analytics and Logi, think about software companies that are looking for a solution for building dashboards and reports for their application. And also think about the product teams. This is product managers and developers who are responsible for building analytics applications and taking those applications to market. How we help these application teams and product teams is with Logi's offering of a suite of embedded analytics solutions. These meet different analytics and reporting needs. That suite is called Logi Symphony, and it includes our three core products. The first of the three is Logi Composer. Composer is a development environment with a lot of out-of-the-box functionality for building, customizing, and embedding dashboards and reports. It offers a unique approach to self-service that we'll talk about a little bit later in the presentation, and you'll see it in the demo that Haley will provide. And it's built on a modern cloud-ready architecture, which makes it highly performant and scalable. Logi Report is an embedded reporting solution that has a no-code design environment. It offers a very precise report formatting called pixel-perfect reporting. It also provides support for paginated reports and the delivery of the reports at very large scale. You can distribute thousands of reports in a matter of minutes with Logi Report. And Logi Info is an analytics platform for creating and deploying analytics applications. With Logi Info, you can not only build analytics and embed them into an application, you can actually build an entire application from the ground up and offer analytics. We offer these solutions both individually and as a subscription to the Logi Symphony suite. Looking at some of the customers that have had success with Logi solutions, QAD is a company that you may be familiar with since Logi and Progress Software have worked together on this account in the past. QAD actually had a very ambitious goal. They set out to transform the ERP space and become more competitive in the manufacturing industry. Their four objectives were, one, to create more business value from the data that was generated by their ERP solutions. They wanted to make sure that they kept users inside the application for analytics consumption. They did not want the end user to leave the application. Surely they wanted to offer a superior and adaptable end user experience to their users, but they also wanted to make sure that whatever solution they went with actually would use their existing technology stack and their future technology stack, so they didn't have to make a large investment in having to rebuild their technology stack for supporting analytics in their ERP solution. They partnered with Logi for offering analytics inside the Adaptive ERP solution. Today, Adaptive ERP ships with some 400 pre-made reports and KPIs that offer insights based on the ERP data. And this has created a sticky model that keeps the users inside the application and keeps them coming back to the QAD application. DMSI is another customer of Logi. DMSI serves the lumber and building material industry. They have an ERP solution called Agility, and it is used for managing inventory, sales, manufacturing, and finance. The MSI's goal was to move away from being a transaction system of record and to becoming a front-end application that included analytics in line with all the other pieces of resource management. They use OpenEdge as a data source and Logi for the analytics in the front end. They've recently gone to market with Agility and are getting some very positive feedback from the analytics they've embedded into their CRM and finance modules of their Agility ERP solution. With the embedded use case, the target persona are the software teams. This is very different than data discovery applications or traditional BI. In those particular use cases, typically the target persona is an analyst. With the embedded use case, the key personas are product teams, development teams, DevOps teams, and of course the application end users, all of whom make up what we call the application value chain. And what's important here is that each of these teams have a different problem orientation and a different set of challenges when it comes to having to deal with analytics. And we'll cover some of those challenges next. The business challenges that some of these teams may be dealing with include modernizing the applications with analytics. They want to be able to offer analytics within the context of their application. Customized self-service analytics. This means that they want to have the flexibility to tailor the self-service experience for their end users. They want to keep the users inside the application and not have them leave the application and go to something like an Excel or some other data discovery tool for analytics purposes. They want to be able to offer operational and pixel perfect reporting for invoicing, for tax forms, for payroll. They want to be able to fully customize the analytics experience to fit the look and feel of their host application. They also may want to be able to connect to some of the modern data sources that are out there, including non-traditional sources such as search or streaming or NoSQL. They want to be able to use their existing technology stack and not make a huge investment in hardware and software. They are mostly using an agile process for development, so they want to be able to integrate easily into their existing DevOps process for that continuous improvement, continuous delivery model. And they may want to be able to extend analytics to other applications and the workflow of their existing suite of software services. And finally, they want to be able to have complete control over that end user experience to make the ease of use and the flexibility of the user experience very friendly and keep people coming back to the application and drive application adoption. And these are some of the key challenges that your team should be looking for when you're engaging with potential prospects that could benefit from Logi's solutions. So if you run into some folks out there who are struggling with some of the challenges that we've listed here, it's possible that Logi could be a good fit to help them solve that problem. So how do you deliver impact across the application value chain? Well, let's take each group. Start with the end users. End users want information that is relevant to the work that they're doing every day. They want it to be interactive. They want to be able to slice and dice data, ask questions from the data, get answers from that data. They want to be able to share those answers with the rest of the business and collaborate and help drive decisions. Product teams have a different need. They're looking for ways to make their application more valuable. They're looking for ways to make it more competitive and actually stay ahead of the competition. They don't want to build analytics from scratch because they want to keep their resources focused on developing their core IP. They also want to be able to have that complete control over the end user experience so that the product is not rigid, it can go viral and get user adoption and at scale. What the development teams want from analytics is pretty much the greatest technology to build dashboards and reports. They want to be able to use a low-code or a no-code environment. They want it to fit within the framework of their existing application architecture. They want extensibility. They do not want this one-size-fits-all approach to self-service because all that does is force users to ask for different reports and different charts and different dimensions and data, which creates a development backlog for them. They want to be able to have that customized self-service, which is really important to give their users the freedom and flexibility to interact with data and extract information from the analytics inside the application. And finally, the DevOps teams. The DevOps teams are looking for an easy way to deploy a solution and also minimal ongoing maintenance. They want to automate everything. They want to scale through containers and orchestration. And they're not necessarily very keen on having to build out an environment that requires proprietary hardware. In June of this year, we launched Logi Composer. This is our latest innovation in embedded analytics. Composer is a combination of 7 years of R&D and some 20 years of Logi's leadership in the embedded analytics space. And when we talked about the different personas in the application value chain and some of the challenges that they run into and some of the needs that they have, Logi Composer was actually built with those challenges in mind and those personas in mind. And it is designed from the ground up to help those teams bring analytics into their application and create an engaging and exciting analytics experience for their end users. So what's different about Composer? Composer was, first of all, specifically built for software teams, and it delivers the first out-of-the-box development experience for embedded analytics. Today in the demo, we're going to spend some time showing you some of the key differentiators of the product, and I'll go through a summary of some of the things that are quite important. Composer has a very intuitive data authoring and visual authoring environment. What this means is that through the graphic UI, software teams can connect to data sources, enrich data, prepare data, and start building visuals. They can then take those visuals and arrange them into dashboards. They can then go further and actually customize those dashboards to match the look and feel of the host application, and then grab the embed code and directly drop that right into their application for a fully embedded analytics experience. Another key differentiator for Composer is the way the self-service experience can be tailored to match the skill set and the needs of the end user. So while other applications or other tools out there actually put bumpers on and create this one-size-fits-all model for self-service, Composer goes much further and actually enables software teams to control the level of self-service all the way down to the feature level. And this does two things. One, it creates this customized self-service where the end users now have the complete freedom to be able to explore data, create their own dashboards, and actually share visualizations and insights and collaborate with other team members. They're not really boxed into one model of self-service. Composer has a wide range of smart data connectors specifically built for modern data sources and traditional data sources. And it has a powerful Z engine that works in combination with the smart data connectors to leverage the underlying capabilities of the data source and be able to process thousands of user requests concurrently. On top of all of that, Composer is built on a microservices architecture, which means scalability, both from a high availability perspective and from an elastic scale perspective, becomes very easy. You can spin up and down resources on demand based on the amount of usage necessary to support the application. I'll go over the microservices architecture in this next slide. So what you see here is Logi Composer's architecture. On the top left, you see the application supported with dashboards and self-service. The bottom left is the tools that the application teams will use to create, customize, and extend analytics into the application. All of this is built on a microservices architecture that is container ready, can be deployed in the cloud. And as I mentioned earlier, there are smart data connectors that connect to modern data sources. And you see some of those examples on the right side of the slide. With that, we'd like to give you a demo of Logi Composer. And to do that, I'm going to hand it over to Haley. Haley, take it away.
Hello, in today's demo of Logi Composer, we'll be taking a look at how Logi Composer can help enable software and application teams to quickly and very easily deliver out-of-the-box embedded analytics experience through their own product. And we will be walking through the demo from both our end user's perspective as an end user using some software product, how we might be able to empower them through self-service analytics. And also, we will also take a look at Logi Composer itself to see how we can also help application teams to quickly deliver these functionalities. And today's demo, we will be using this sample first. So this wine cellar application we're looking at, we actually built it out to represent an everyday software application out there. And the page that we're on right now, if I go ahead and blur out some content, so everything that is blurred out belongs to this product or this application. This is just on its own standalone app, and everything that's highlighted right now that's still clear on our screen are embedded content coming from Logi. So if we take a quick look, we will see that when we work with Logi, when we say embedding, we mean it. There's no watermark that says powered by Logi or anything that makes Logi content standing out from the parent application. So everything's very seamless, and we want our ultimate end consumer of this product not be able to tell what is Logi and what's not. And the other thing in embedded use cases is when we go ahead and embed and live inside another application, we also want to empower users to do their own analysis. So right now, as a Brian, I am a VP of World Sales in this wine distribution company. I can go ahead and say, Catherine has sold a lot of wine. Let's go ahead and take a look at what type of wine she sold the most. And then Pinot Grigio was the most popular one. And I just want to take a look at the raw detailed transactional level record. So I can just, again, click on the bar and choose to look at details very quickly. And we can see that on the front page, we have some different examples on how really we can embed a variety of different type of visualizations, and all of them will be able to deliver that very interactive experience. So this is really the start. So with Logi Composer, we can also embed more of a full-blown self-service type of dashboard. So in our case, we can also offer Brian more of an open-ended, very self-service type of workflow so that he can jump in immediately inside this dashboard, slice and dice the data however he wants to, look at which country, what region has been selling the most wine, and divided it up to see which sales rep is the most performant, and perhaps filter down his entire dashboard easily with just clicking through buttons. And we can also allow Brian to quickly add in content that he might need. And for Brian, he doesn't need to have any technical skills. All he needs to do is to choose Add Visual on the top right and choose the data set I want to work on, and maybe add another donut chart. And all of that really fun interaction that we've seen earlier are out of the box available even on this brand new chart that Brian has just created. So you can immediately jump in and continue his analysis. And lastly, of course, with Logi, we can also help application teams to embed a complete dashboard canvas. So as an end user, we can also go ahead and create completely brand new dashboard from scratch. And we're able to put together this very interactive dashboard with all the drill down, filter, trend analysis type of functionalities completely from scratch, all put together under a minute. So far we're inside this looking at an example where we embed Logi content into a third-party application. These can be everyday applications out there. In this space, perhaps we can embed into a banking application. We can embed into utility building applications. So we're really agnostic when it comes to what data that we're connecting to or what infrastructure we can connect into. In the end, we're always going to connect to data sources directly. That means our customers might be using Progress OpenEdge. They might be using Elasticsearch. They might be using MongoDB. In Logi sense, we always are going to connect to those different sources directly and query them on runtime. In our perspective, we don't pull data into our world. So it offers the application team a very quick and easy way to start adding analytics into the context of their application. So We have looked at this example really from an end user's perspective. So now let's take a look at Logi Composer, the product itself. This is what application teams or software developers use to create all of those content or dashboard to be embedded into third-party applications. And as we can see here, inside Logi Composer, it's all in the browser. So there's no additional setup. It's very lightweight. And even as a developer, when I go ahead and create content, it's also just very quickly and simple. So I can go ahead and put together different visualization content. And sometimes, say, your customer might have multiple data sources. So I might have Progress OpenEdge, and on the side, I also have a source maybe coming from Elasticsearch. Can I put content coming from different data sources together on the same dashboard? And the answer is yes. So in my example, I added 2 charts coming from a flat file, and perhaps we can go ahead and add a third one coming from a completely different data source. In this case, coming from Apache Solar. And let's go ahead and add another wine review type of chart. So Logi Composer can also offer a dashboard that include visualizations from all kinds of data sources together to really empower our users to do analysis. And lastly, as a developer, I have just created my really awesome dashboard. I can quickly go ahead and edit my visualization, say perhaps changing the color palette, or even restrict interactivity, maybe only allow people to look at details. I can also very quickly make those adjustments. And within about 2 minutes as a developer, I've put together a dashboard. I changed the color scheme to change the look and feel, and also customize the end user experience. Now let's go ahead and save our dashboard. And really the last step of our process is after a developer create a dashboard like this, how do we go ahead and embed that back into the application? And the answer with Logi Composer is really just within the click of a button. We will generate the embedding code for you. We do all the hard work. So all we need to do right here is to copy the script and paste that back in to our everyday application, like the wine app that we're on. Just paste that in here and all that embedded content will show up automatically inside the context of another third-party app. So this is really everything we wanted to cover today. Let me turn things back to Arish here, and he will continue through his part of the demonstration.
Thank you, Haley, for that terrific demo of Logi Composer on how you can easily build dashboards and embed them into applications. So if you have any questions about Logi or its suite of products, please reach out to Kevin Green, our Chief Operating Officer, myself, or Haley. I hope you enjoyed this presentation and demonstration of Logi Composer. Thank you for joining us today, and have a great rest of the day.